All right, today I'd like to take a look at the Seiko SKX. We have the SKX009, SKX171 with an aftermarket bezel. This is the factory bezel. And bezel insert as well on this is ceramic. Then we have the SRPD93 and the SRPD85. The two on the left here are called the Seiko 5KX. That's because it is the Seiko 5 line, and it looks like the SKX. So right off the bat, the two on the left here are what you would call a diver style watch, and the SKX watches are actual divers rated watches to 200 meter. That means these are ISO certified. They meet an ISO standard for diving. This watch here I've had for 9 years. I wouldn't say I've abused it, but I haven't really babied it either. So this is one of my favorite watches. I do not ever plan on selling this one. I may sell this one here, the 171. I'd always wanted this watch just because of the applied indices, and then the black on black, the black date wheel there. Usually the SKX 009 and 007 all have the white date window. The only thing I've changed on this one is the crystal. I had to put a sapphire on it. Well, I could have put a hardlux, but the original hardlux got scratched up really badly. So, into the comparison here, the bezels on the, I'm going to put this one to the side. It's aftermarket. I'll bring it back out in a minute. But if you look at the bezels on these, they look like the same bezel, but actually the machining is slightly different on these. Let me see if I can give you guys a good look at that. So maybe you can see that, but they're machined just ever so differently. But from, I mean, really only a couple inches away, it looks the same. And the bezel insert on the SKX, it has every minute marked out, and that's part of the ISO standard to be a divers rated watch. And on the 5KX, you just have it from 0 to 20, each minute individually marked out. Also, there's a Lume pip on the SKX, and the 5KX it's not loomed. So the cases on both of these do appear to be similar. I've looked at them and studied them pretty well. The only obvious difference is that the 5KX has drilled lugs. The SKX does not. But as far as I can tell, it's the same case. The 5KX does not have a screw down crown, so that means you can just pop it out. And you can make your time adjustments there. That's one of the reasons why this doesn't have the 200 meter dive rating. And then the SKX has a screw down crown, so you have to unscrew it. And then you can adjust the time. In the next click in, you can adjust the day. Maybe I went too far. You can adjust the date, and you can adjust the day. So as I had mentioned, both of these do have hardlex in the stock form. So hardlex is Seiko's proprietary mineral crystal. It still scratches. Just supposed to not scratch as easily as the mineral crystal. Let's take a look at the bezel action here. So I like the bezel on the new 5KX. has a little bit of back play, but it feels real nice and smooth. I'm not sure if you can hear the bezel or not. So the bezel on my SKX takes a bit of force to turn it. Now again, it is 9 years old. And like I said, I haven't abused it, but I've not been gentle on this either. You can see it's got scuffs and scratches on it. I did take this off a while back and cleaned it out, but it takes a bit of force to turn this one. So let's look at the back of these. You can see that the 5KX has a display case back, and the SKX has a nice engraving or stamping on the back here. So you can see this says Movement Malaysia, stainless steel, Seiko, scuba divers, and then that's the Movement, the 7S26. I believe this might be when it's been manufactured. I believe this one is older than the SKX171. So you see this also says scuba divers. This doesn't say Movement Malaysia though. This is the US version though. This is not the Japanese version. So like I said, the 171 has the applied indices. Seiko Automatic, Divers 200, that's all printed on there. Same for the 009. And also there's the Seiko 007, which usually comes with the oyster style bracelet, the 3-link bracelet. And then it has the black bezel insert and the black dial. This is actually a real dark blue dial. Maybe you can see the difference on these. Might be a little hard to see because of the lighting and also the sapphire crystal. So anyway, I had mentioned that this has the 7S26 movement, which means that it does not hack or hand wind. So hacking is when you pull the crown out, the second hand will stop. And then hand wind is just what it sounds like. You can wind the movement by turning the crown. This does not have that, so you're really not doing anything by turning the crown. So the only way to charge this up is you can do what's called the Seiko shuffle, which kind of just turn around like that, and that's spinning the rotor in the back. The rotor is this guy here. So that turns the gear, which turns the spring. So on this one here, it has hand winding, which means you can hear this. But when you're turning this, you're turning the gears, which are winding up the spring. It also has hacking, so when I pull it out, the second hand will stop. Right there. Push it in one more, and pull it all the way. Move the hands around. In the second position, we'll move the day and date. Before I go to the wrist shot, I'll talk about the straps here. These SKX rubber straps are really not that good. They're pretty stiff, and I don't know. I just don't really care for these silicones, the factory silicone strap on the SKX. But the one on the 5KX, this thing is real flexible. I mean, it feels great. It really does. Got a lot of play to it. Also, if you look through the Seiko website, you can see they have different variations of bracelets, and this one's obviously on a NATO. This NATO feels nice too. I'm not I usually don't wear a needle strap, but this feels nice compared to some of the other ones I've had. This is the SRPD85. It has some texture to the dial there. Looks kind of like a, like a football or a basketball with a leather texture to it. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but this case is a bronze or brass or copper color. So just be aware of that when you purchase this watch, which I wasn't aware of when I bought it. You can see the case back is just the same as the other 5KXs. Or really, any Seiko 5 I think has that same case back. So let's look at the case back on here again. Also, it has the new Seiko 5 logo on the rotor. You can see the balance wheel spinning back there. I like seeing the movement, even if it's not decorated. I really do appreciate being able to look at the movement. So just before filming this, I went on to eBay, and the lowest price I could find for the SRPD93 was $215. This one over here I found for $250. Again, this is the SRPD85. SKX009. I saw new ones. They claim to be new for $250. And then another option I just want to throw in real quick, if you still want an actual diver's watch, this is the Seiko Turtle. I saw I think it's a black version for $275. This is divers rated to 200 meter. It has the indicators for each minute on the bezel. Bezel action on this feels great. Bezel feels real nice. And it has the same movement as the 5KX. It has the 4R36. That means it'll hack and hand wind. The case shape is not for everyone though. It looks, I don't know, it just looks kind of weird, kind of bulbous, I guess. But it's a nice watch. The other thing I don't like about it either is the way the bracelet kind of integrates into the case there. It's not as seamless as the SKX. So anyway, enough of that sidebar. So let me give you a wrist shot here. Zoom out. So I have a slightly less than 6.5 inch wrist. This watch is probably rated at about the limit for my wrist size. But I do really like this watch. I'll put, it's going to look the same, but what the heck, I'll throw it on my wrist. Pretty sure I'll be wearing this one on wrist next week. I haven't decided yet because it's pretty much the same thing as wearing a SKX, just with a different bracelet or different strap. But I really like the looks of this one too, with that chapter ring being white and the dial and the bezel are blue. Also, the indices in the hands seem to be more of a cream color, or like almost like a fake patina color or shade. Looks like oh, let me change the zoom here. Sorry about that. Looks like my SKX is in, I'm assuming they're Spanish. So let me get these guys together here, and we can do a loom shot and close out the video for today. Hit them with the UV light. Man, look absolutely glowing on this this 8.5 here. So the loom looks very similar on all of them. Again, sorry, the second from the right has an aftermarket bezel, but still has a loom pip on it. I guess it's not going to focus, but all right. Thanks for watching. Have any questions or anything else you want to look at between these, just put them in the comments. Thank you.